Yar, what is it that you have to like the pirates?
Booty! Azarath, Metreon, Synthos, and a very happy Halloween, because it is my favorite season of the year, Halloween, and we had Warhammer Day this week. So we're gonna have to cover all of that wonderful news, plus Paizo has a app coming out that is going to be a competitor to D&D Beyond, which I'm really hyped for. Plus, Shayna has some brand new Space Marine themed ring gear, and we're gonna take a look at it. Let's go ahead and get into it in this week's Hobby News. Let's start by talking about Pathfinder Nexus, which is basically Paizo's answer to D&D Beyond combined with Zoom, because it does look like you can have video hosting and actually run your campaigns on Nexus and actually see people, which is really cool. Plus, you'll be able to buy your books and read them digitally, which you can have early access to currently, and then later on you'll get additional supplemental books, adventures, and it looks like you'll be able to track your character and all of that kind of stuff. So like I said, it is very much like D&D Beyond. I'm excited to see Pathfinder get this, and I'm looking forward to finding out more information as more content rolls out on the app. Now, before we get into our main Warhammer Day news, I do want to cover the fact that Shayna was dressed as the Iron Warriors this week, and I absolutely loved what she was wearing. It looked so cool, especially with the emblem on the back. It was a really nice touch, and I've noticed after talking with a couple people online that it seems like she's going in order of Legion. So if she continues to do this, that means we might be getting Shayna dressed as every Legion, and the White Scars might be up this week. I can't wait to find out if she's actually doing this, and I'm not actually hopeful that this will happen, but deep in my soul, I am really hoping that we end up getting a either Hasbro or Mattel Shayna toy that is actually using one of these Space Marine costumes. Now, I don't think this will be possible because I don't think GW will allow it. However, it would be amazing and it would make my day, especially as a pro wrestling figure collector and because she is actually one of my favorite wrestlers.
Home of the Emperor's Palace, heart of the Imperium. The brightest light in the galaxy. It sickens me. The hubris, the lies, the oppression. No matter. The shadow approaches. The Star Children shall have their throne.
We're gonna start off talking about Warhammer Days 40K reveal because we're getting a new battle box called Shadow Throne, and it is featuring the Gene Stealer cults and Adeptus Custodes partnered with the Sisters of Battle, Sisters of Silence. I don't know why I combine Sisters of Silence with the Battle Sisters. Whatever, you know what I'm talking about. We've got Sisters of Battle, Sisters of Silence. We'll get this right one time. Custodes, Sisters of Silence, and Gene Stealer cults, all in the Shadow Throne box. It'll be coming soon, and alongside the box, we're getting 2 new models, which is going to be very cool. They're coming in the box, rather. We've got the Blade Champion for the Custodes, which is in a nice dynamic pose instead of the standard sort of contrapposta, I'm just holding my spear looking like a statue, which you kind of see throughout that model line. As well as we're getting a brand new Gene Stealer cult model, which is called the Reductus Saboteur, and I really like her 2 head options. Her pose is pretty open and generic, which will be fun to paint, but just not super interesting to look at. But the heads are really cool. You've got the one with the goggles, which I think totally fits the theme, but I really like the more scarred face as well because she's an explosives expert, and it sort of fits the theming of that, and I really like that small touch. Additionally, alongside this box, we're getting the 2 codexes, like I said, or I may not have said that already, but we're going to cover that now because we are getting 2 brand new codexes. One for the Custodes, which is going to include an update that makes running Sisters of Silence with them a lot easier, as well as a Gene Stealer cults codex as well, which I'm looking forward to. It's good to see some Xeno representation. Hello, Imperial Citizen. This is your regular reminder to subscribe to the channel and hit the Emperor's bell for notifications. And if you're feeling particularly devout, you can join my Patreon where you'll get exclusive unboxings, behind the scenes content, and more. Now, let's go ahead and get back to the video.
We are Nurgle's gift to the realm, bringers not of death, but life, teeming, writhing, eternal life. With the Plague Father's blessing, the curse of mortality will be cast from these lands. Like all living things, these mortal realms will decay, and in time, no peace in Nurgle's garden. Come, mortal children. Grandfather has a gift for you, too.
Moving on to Age of Sigmar, we didn't get a whole lot, but we are getting a brand new battle tome for the Maggotkin of Nurgle, as well as a brand new model for that line, and it is going to be a Rotbringer sorcerer, and he has an adorable, fly face, and I just think it's so cute. I run a lot of plague casters in my Death Guard army, and because this is, Nurgle themed and everything, I'm probably going to be picking up this model and using it as a plague caster because I want to fill out the army more. I have already an alternative plague caster from Blackstone Fortress, and I want this Maggotkin one as well. It's just too darn cute.
I'll never forget my first game of college Dungeonbowl. My professor looked me in the eyes and said, "Listen, keep an eye on the Warhawks. I've got 50 gold on them gutting at least 3 goblins." That's when I knew I was destined to be a pitch side reporter. Those days were something else. Now, the colleges are opening up the dungeons again, and they're going to need some new blood in the teams. And on the walls, and the floor, who knows, maybe you'll be a star player yourself one day. It's like Bob always says, the pitch is where heroes are made, Jim, but the dungeon's where they're born.
We're returning to the pitch, but this time we're going subterranean because Dungeonbowl returns, which is an alternate version of Blood Bowl that is put down in a subterranean level, and you end up getting a lot of tiles that you lay out, building out a dungeon, but basically still playing Blood Bowl beneath. Now, it's really cool to see this game return. I do have one minor criticism, however, and that is the fact that I'm a little disappointed that the models that you're getting in this set aren't actually anything new. So if you are an avid Blood Bowl collector and you've collected a lot of the lists and teams over the years, you're gonna already have these models, which I suppose will save you some time if they're already painted up or built to immediately get playing the game. But that does mean that you end up just buying it for the tiles and the book, which I feel like could be sold separately. And I don't know, it's just a little bit weird. However, I am really excited to see the return of the game. If any of you have arachnophobia or a problem with insects, you might want to skip ahead to the next section and avoid the Warcry section. The realm of Warcry, and we fall into chaos, and we've learned a little bit more about our spider friends because we have found out what exactly is coming in the Red Harvest new starter set, even though that's not technically what they called it, but it does come with the core rulebook, 2 armies to get you started, and everything you need to be playing. So it's essentially a brand new starter set. But what are you getting in it? Well, you're getting some really rad terrain, which is actually the thing I'm the most interested in. It is a corrupted mining field. There's actually a ton of terrain in it, and I think it's gonna blend really well with both an Age of Sigmar setting as well as a 40k setting, which I super, super appreciate. Like, I really think you can mix it in with Mechanicus terrain very easily, and it'll work really well. But you probably don't care a huge amount about the terrain like I do. I just really, really like it. You might want to know about the new models that are coming in the box set. Well, first up, you've got the Draken Oath Savages, which, oh my god, talk about a Conan-looking group of people. These are your guys. If you like Conan the Barbarian, you'll want to get this set because they all, I mean, literally there is a guy that I think just looks like a Frazetta version of Conan. And if you look at the box art for this game, it also looks like a Frazetta painting. It really cracks me up. I actually very much like them. I might get them because then I can add them into my hate collection. And I think it'll look really good.
Your what collection?
My hate collection. Because if you haven't seen that game, check out my video where I feature it. There's a lot of really cool Barbarian Conan-esque models in that as well. But we also need to talk about our spider boys because we have a whole new brood of the Tarantulos brood, and I really like their costume designs. I think the usage of the spider limbs as like head decor is an interesting choice. They look like weird flowers, and I kind of enjoy that. It's really bizarre, and the color palette works really well for me. I do wish that they had prefaced this setting, and actually, I wish GW had prefaced this setting with like an arachnophobia thing because there were a lot of spiders and it did trigger some people. And on top of that, on a good note though, with those spiders that might have triggered people, I really, really wish that scarabs were on bases like those because that is far more interesting. They look a lot more sinister and scary, and I think it would be just like really creepy to have a bunch of mechanical spiders popping out of the ground and like stones and everything and just then eating you, because that's always what happens whenever scarabs get close to my Death Guard characters. They always just eat them, and it's very obnoxious. Are ye mateys, are you ready to get down with some booty? Because in Harrowdeep, you're gonna get the Black Powder Buccaneers, because I think GW has ran out of ideas. They've covered most of their factions and now they're just going, what theming can we put on these kits? I'm okay with this. I actually really like the pirates. I think it's a cool combination of an ogre, you've got 2 little gobbos, and then they really wanted to capitalize on the small creatures, so they threw in 2 animals as well, and people really we're excited about the Danger Monkey. Now, I find it very interesting that this monkey has learned the ways of the Skaven and how to hold a knife in its tail. I want to see the training sessions that this monkey had. I think it's really cute. It's going to be really fun to paint. I do look forward to this set. I'm really hoping to see what the other sets are going to be. And speaking of which, I actually really, if they're going to go with this sort of like off-the-wall theming and everything, or bringing in weird groups and like everything like that. Not that pirates are really a weird group specifically, but I feel like they're sort of outside of the standard Age of Sigmar / Warhammer fantasy vibe. I also want to see the return of the Cursed Company. I just want the little band of all of the undead creatures from all the different races just hanging out together as a single set. Maybe 2, because I think you could do it for like literally all of the races. So give me bones of everybody and just split it into 2 like 10-man or 2 5-man squads, so that you end up having 10 of them total or something like that. I don't know, there's probably more than that. But the point is, I want a lot of skeletons. Give them to me, GW. We have some news from Forge World, because finally all of the Primarchs are available. And the last one that has arrived is Jagatai Khan. He looks quite stunning, actually. I really enjoyed this model. He is incredibly handsome. I mean, he's the newest one, but the work on his face and everything, just so good. I also enjoy the fact that he has a slain Death Guard model there at his feet. That is a lovely touch. I'm just really pleased with this model, honestly. It's just a really good one, and it's nice to see that finally all of the Primarchs might have something, you know, for a fan to grab and paint up, because who doesn't want to paint a Primarch?
'Twas a night fit for gifting, with snow on the ground. The streets were deserted, with nary a sound, while bacchanal revels kept townsfolk in bed. The rooftops were stalked by a figure in red. He leapt between chimneys with shrieks of delight, and a bag full of presents that bounced in the night. He dropped off his gifts, and he left with a boom. You're next on his list, and he's coming soon.
GW's jumping the gun like everybody else. Halloween hasn't even happened and they're already promoting their Christmas nonsense. We talked last week about some of the fun Christmas decor kind of things that they're coming out with. Well, this week for Warhammer Day, they give us a short preview of what will be the holiday model, and it looks like it's going to be a Santa Gobbo on a probably bomb squig. It's probably going to be adorable, but gosh dang it, guys, let Halloween finish, please. And now it is time for the airing of grievances, because while Warhammer Day was quite fun and I enjoyed getting up at 5 a.m. to watch the stream and everything.
It was 4:30.
Yeah, you're right. We did get up at 4:30 to watch it. However, I had a few complaints. Now, one of them I will caveat with the fact that yes, I understand that there are still shipping concerns. So the sort of slow volume of new product that they showed off, also the fact that they did not have any holiday sets really previewed at all, is a bit problematic to me. Like, I understand, I know that there's reasons, but it's still, I don't know, it just didn't feel quite as big. Now, speaking of the fact that they weren't able to talk about a lot of stuff because there are shortages, I think it could have been nice for GW to maybe highlight some of their video game products during Warhammer Day. This is supposed to be about covering everything for the games, so why not spotlight the fact that you had the update for Sieges for Total War Warhammer 3 and talk about that? Or talk more about like what went into, building Cathay and all of that kind of stuff. Like
the
that.
Updates for Chaos Gate.
Exactly. You could have had
Dark Tide.
Exactly. You could have talked about Dark Tide. You could have talked about the updates for Chaos Gate. There's a lot of content for the video games and other stuff that you could talk about. Now, they did talk a little bit about Warhammer Plus, and I was a little bit irritated with this. Not so much because they were wanting to highlight more of Angels of Death, which was wonderful. It was great to see that. However, every time that they talked about it, they had to plug actually subscribing to the app, which I know they're a business, but it was kind of obnoxious. They did it 3 times and then did nothing else. They just really want you to get the app and they want to give you 2 months free, but is that really worth it?
They didn't really sell us on value, which
No.
continues to be the big complaint with Warhammer Plus.
Exactly. Like, I went back and I watched some more stuff on it just to see, like, okay, what have they added? What has the cadence been like? And it's not a lot, exactly like Chaos Cultist said. It's just, I mean, honestly, the best thing on it is Luis's program with teaching you how to paint and everything. And that you should be able to just get online for free. Like, no offense or anything like that. I just don't know if it's really worth it. And the fact that that's the only thing of their other media that they wanted to plug and not actually focus on some of the cool, fun gaming content really kind of bothered me. It was just, I wish they had done more. I wish it felt a little bit more celebratory.
It worries me what they have planned for battle reports.
Yeah, they don't have a lot of battle reports up, and the fact that they aren't churning them out a lot faster is really, really
They're
worrisome.
all mostly starter sets. We're being off topic. That's my fault. Sorry.
No, it's totally fine. But overall, Warhammer Day was pretty fun. I don't know. I felt like it was a little lackluster. Like, I was whelmed. It was all right. All right, that has been it for this week in hobby news. We got a lot of new content from Warhammer Day, and I want to hear what your thoughts are below, so make sure to tell me in the comments. Also, if you enjoyed this video, hit the like button and subscribe for more. I wanted to shout out my patrons before I head out and thank them for allowing us to have content like this continue to happen, and also for helping me choose the costume that you got today. I have a lot of costumes, and so I put up a poll over on my Patreon account and asked them to help me choose, and Raven is what they picked. I actually really like this one. It's one of my favorites. I'm really glad to have worn it. Plus, it's all my favorite color. But I have been Angela. You have been watching Hobby Night, and I'll see you guys next week for some more hobby goodness. Bye.